So if you're coming up E Street, just before you get to Tuhar, you see the old Pensacola Mill Supply building here. And this is the new home for Manna Food Bank. We'll go around the front here and you can see what it looks like out front before we take a good tour inside from DeDe Flounlacker, the Executive Director. So this is where clients would pull up. And this is if you're picking up food or if you need services of some kind. You come in here. And if you're dropping off food, you can go right there to the very back you can see in the distance. But this is, again, the old Pensacola Mill Supply building, and now Manna Food Pantry.
Service area.
So we're here with DeDe Flounlacker, the Executive Director of Manna. You know her very well, and this is the new warehouse. All right, DeDe, take us on a tour. Show us what we need to know.
Isn't this amazing?
I can't believe it. When I walked in the front, I mean, the front alone is very nice. The office spaces you have up there. This is phenomenal, honestly. This is quite, wow.
I know. That's what I say every day when I come in. It's like, wow. And you know, Andrew, we were really careful because we're a very grassroots organization, right? And so we didn't want to do anything over the top, but we wanted to be sure we did something that, one, met our needs, but two, also honored our donors who gave to us, our volunteers who give to us every day, and then also to our clients, because we wanted to have a place that's safe for them and that really does honor their dignity and show respect to them. So
my wife always says, if it's worth doing excellently.
That's right. Oh, I love it. That's right.
Do everything with excellence.
That's right.
So.
Well, and thank you. So that is how I feel about this place, because it's just a warehouse. I mean, really, you know, it's just a warehouse, but oh my goodness gracious.
But it's, I mean, there can be a warehouse that looks like a warehouse, and then there can be a warehouse that looks like, oh my God, this is fantastic, you know?
Thank you. Well, you know, and this warehouse is filled with food, which which we give out every day, these bags, and to quote a dear friend of mine, Brent Lane, you know, these are bags of hope also that we give to people, because so many folks, when they come to see us, they just don't have any place to turn. Right. And when we give them, you know, 5 days worth of food, I mean, that's substantial, and we're giving it based on USDA standards for a healthy diet. So right here behind you.
So this is like the assembly area?
That's right. So this is actually what this is these are bags that will be going out today for this afternoon service. Okay. And we've got 4 tables of bags that are all ready. So this is kind of the end result of what happens. But behind you, you see all these shelves of food, and what happens is our volunteers come in every day and they pack the bags over here on these tables. And in fact, here's a packing list that's just one of our packing lists that we use so that folks know what to put into. So
there's a consistent amount of nutritious food in every bag.
Exactly. So so the volunteers come in and they pack the bags based on the packing list, and we've kind of got everything jammed up together right now just for the photos. But over here we've got our condiments that you're taking pictures of right now, and then again these bags will tomorrow be transferred onto those tables
and they'll be put out for people.
Yep, exactly. So.
Now, did you have refrigeration in the other place? I just can't remember.
We did. So we had 2 walk-in cooler freezer units. One died. Yeah, absolutely. It would feel great to go in there.
I know.
One of them died actually after the flood.
Okay.
And so we were able to bring them both back. This is where we're storing. This is the refrigerator side. We've got some fresh corn that was donated to us last week by a farmer. Okay. And so that fresh corn, in addition to the bags that you saw a few minutes ago, the fresh corn goes out this afternoon too. Okay.
So see, I didn't know that you guys gave out fresh food too.
We do, and that's really great because, you know, fresh is the best,
right?
Health-wise,
right?
But so many people don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
And so that's a challenge. Sometimes if we're giving out something, corn is easy. Giving out something like okra that's different. Now you see this is actually empty right now.
Right, but this is the freezer, so orange juice, for example.
We do. So we've got some orange juice in there. We had some chicken in there, and we gave it out last week.
I was just going to say, do you stock meat ever, or fish, anything like that?
Straight from the grocer or from a vendor.
Makes sense for safety, obviously.
Exactly. And then in these blue barrels, this is how we store our dry food. So things like potatoes and rice, things like pasta and beans, dry beans. Okay. We put those in these blue barrels, and our volunteers actually, when they come in to pack the bags, they shop for items. in the blue barrels, as well as we'll bring down this area. We'll this afternoon have pallets of food.
Okay.
Where they'll pull from. So, and I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but we actually do special packs. So we have diabetic bags.
Oh, okay. It's a special dietary needs.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Or allergies.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then up here, the magic continues.
I see this.
So this is our packing area for any of the food that goes outside of our four walls.
Okay.
So again, repeated process in terms of we got a packing list, volunteers pack the bags, but in this case, they put them in banana boxes, 2 bags per box.
Okay.
And then we either take that out.
So these are all prepared. These are all basically the equivalent of 2 sandwich shopping bags downstairs.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
How many prepared? This is a couple thousand prepared meals?
No, actually, only those back there.
Oh, just those. These are just boxes waiting to be filled.
Yeah, this is our inventory right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, with raw materials, so to speak.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
Over here we've got corn, dinners, tuna, soup, tomatoes, condiments, etc.
So when somebody comes out to like fill the Mayflower, they put it in a giant box, and then you come in and you sort it into these boxes by category, then every day volunteers will come in and assemble the bags.
Exactly. I don't know if you know this or not, but we had nearly 7,000 volunteers last year donate their time.
Oh, wow.
So it's really amazing. Those volunteers keep us going and make it possible for us to be here.
Well, and one thing I notice about this building is it's elevated.
Yep.
So there's never going to be a concern about flood damage like you unfortunately had to suffer through before.
That's right. Thank God.
And this was the old, you're telling me is the mill supply?
Yes, old Pensacola mill supply.
Okay.
I can tell you how many people, especially men that I've met, who've said, oh, my daddy sent me down to Pensacola mill supply when I was a kid, and I used to get parts for him, etc., which is really cool. And we actually maintained some of the original things. So this yellow stripping on the floor, this is from Pensacola mill supply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the other part of the building, you'll see where we've maintained some brick, and it's got writing on it from Pensacola mill supply.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
everything in Pensacola has history.
It does, doesn't it? It's amazing. So we wanted to make it possible, and easy actually I should say, for folks to donate food to us. So this is where people can come. It's at the back of the building.
Okay.
And they just ring a doorbell outside of that.
Oh, just like, when you go to donate at Goodwill or Waterfront or anywhere else, you just go right up and, okay.
Exactly. And we just, if it's a lot of food, we let that garage door up and we offload. If it's enough that we can just get it through the person door, we do that. Then this food over here, Andrew, is stuff that we still got to sort.
Okay.
So we'll have volunteers that are coming in, and they'll be fine sorting some of these items. And I see we've got oatmeal. Thank goodness. I want you to know that we are almost out of oatmeal right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I know you, it ebbs and flows in terms of how much you have of any given thing. Peanut butter, I know, isn't always.
It isn't
you can
always.
Because peanut butter, you could live on peanut butter if that's all you had to have.
You could. Probably last year we gave out somewhere around 20,000 jars of peanut butter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody who's thinking about giving, they're excited, they want to give. What's the one thing, though, or maybe 2 things that people do that if they didn't do that, it'd be helpful? Like, what gets in the way? Because, look, we all recycle, and ECUA is always saying, but don't do this, this, and this, and this because it makes it harder for us.
Right.
What's something that in terms of giving food that people don't realize that's not helpful that they do?
Yeah, so one thing is it's really important to give the most nutritious food. So what happens is people tend to give cake mixes and cookie mixes and that kind of thing. But we really don't need that because the folks that we help can get access to that pretty easily. It's the healthy food that we want to give out. So that's one thing, is donating the right kind of food is really important.
What about things like a ramen? People probably look at that and think that's very inexpensive. I can feed a lot of people without spending a lot of money. Is that helpful?
And that's the second thing. I'm glad you brought that up, is that we tend to think, oh gosh, well, I can get more with $1 if I buy ramen noodles or I buy green beans. But ramen noodles really aren't healthy for you. The sodium is so high in those. And so we don't even include ramen noodles as an essential part of our packing bags any longer.
Okay.
So what we ask folks to do again is donating certain items, and we like for you to try to keep those in mind. And those change depending on time of year and what the inventory is. The other thing is that with the best of intentions, maybe you open that jar of peanut butter and you take one spoonful out and you're like, oh, you know what? I really don't like this. I'll just donate it. Well, we can't use it once
there's no pre-owned food that you can give out, because just like you were saying before with the meat, you've got to have it straight from the grocer so that you know how fresh it is. obviously something that people have opened. You can't guarantee that's safe, and that's got to come first above every other concern.
Exactly. And so no opened food. Even if it's cereal, it doesn't matter what it is. We can't take any open food. And then the last thing is just kind of a little nugget of information. So, you know, in Florida, we have so many citrus trees and so much fruit that's growing in our yards. But a lot of times we just let that fruit drop on the ground and rot, right? We pick off our few oranges and then it's done. But there's actually a group in town called Yes We Can. They're a group of volunteers who will come and pick the fruit from your tree as long as you give permission, and they give it to us and other organizations.
And we know fresh is good.
We know
fresh is healthy.
Good. That's right. And even when we get something like lemons, because you're like, well, what value does lemons have? Well, we'll put recipes in our grocery bags about lemon pasta. So, you know, lemon may not have an intrinsic nutritional value, but you can take the pasta we're giving you or the rice and make something that's a little different tasting, a little more
it's
delicious.
Still fresh. It's vitamin C. My boys love lemons. You know, they will eat them, but it doesn't get much nutrition value, but still.
Right.
That's interesting. So what's it called? Yes We Can?
Yes We Can.
Okay.
And they're a great group, and it especially happens in the wintertime, of course, when oranges are coming in and all sorts of things, but really any fruit that's growing in your yard. And also, for that matter, we can take nuts, too. So if you've got pecan trees, we're happy to take those as well and give them to people. Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Anything else to show us?
Well, as a matter of fact, let's walk back.
Okay.
I'm going to show you our client area.
Okay.
So we've got volunteers in today that are working, and then we'll have another group of volunteers in this afternoon. Thank you, ladies. Thanks.
Now, I'm guessing by what I see, did you bring your daughters here? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Good for you.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, this is pretty amazing, isn't it?
I love it.
No, it's incredible. I still can't believe it.
So is that the top of the front of the building, or is there another level up there?
Nope, that's it. So
Okay.
this is the upper, I call this the upper deck.
Okay.
The lower deck.
And there's nothing under back there. That's just, okay.
That's right. And then this is our industrial, you know, we actually have a piece of industrial equipment now. A pallet lift. Because
Yeah.
we can't get the pallets to
Well, that's great for like Phil the Mayflower or whatever.
Exactly. So, in here, I'm kind of taking you the backwards.
That's
way.
fine.
That's okay.
We're seeing it in reverse.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Isn't this amazing too?
Yeah.
So,
Like you and I were talking about outside, not on this video, but the opportunity that when people come here and they're hungry, there are other needs almost always that they have that you can help meet, whether by bringing in educational partners or other charities who might be able to put them in touch with legal or medical or educational needs of any sort, aside from just the food that you guys provide.
exactly. And this is also the area where I was saying we've separated our client area from our general public area. Now folks who come in to see us, they have their own private space.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice? And so we have
And it's
it's
honoring to them.
It is. It really is.
So this is basically the front door for people who are going to be receiving.
Exactly. So they come in this door.
Okay.
So their parking is right out here.
And it's you have a
Get
very
food.
simple sign. This door for food.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And then the administration is over there.
That's
okay.
right. And so they come in here. And
Now I noticed the door was locked. What are
Yes.
your hours?
So this afternoon we start service at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll go until about 3. And then tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
And we also, even though we may not be giving food out here at this location, we've got something every day happening in the community.
Okay.
So we have other pantries, 2 in Santa Rosa County, and then we've got all the partnerships and programs. The client comes in here, sits down with a volunteer. We ask a lot of questions. We're doing that because we're trying to understand why the person is here seeing us today. And again, it's not because we want them to feel bad.
Right.
We're trying to understand what's at the root, why they're here, so we can figure out who to work with to prevent more people from needing us. And this open space is just fantastic. I mean, you can see we've got room for 6 workstations. We can also set this up any way we want.
Right.
So this can be a classroom. One of our plans for the fall is we have a cooking cart.
Okay.
So we'll probably ask either Everman's or County Extension to come in and demonstrate using a cooking cart how to make fresh vegetables. You know, what to do with okra instead of frying it up.
You know, one of the things that it makes me think of is, do you have shelter capability here? Is that something
We
that
don't.
you, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately we don't. So the person comes in here and is interviewed, and then they come over here and they receive their food. So they pick up their food from this window here.
Okay.
And if it's not quite ready when they are here, then they get to sit down. We've got some information over here about what's happening.
You have shopping carts, and I saw that out of the cart return on this door. What's that for?
Well, what happens is a lot of times folks who come in have families, so we're giving them multiple bags of food.
Right.
So, those bags of food right now are weighing about 20 to 22 pounds.
And they're obviously not likely to be coming in their own cars, because if they could afford vehicles, they could afford food most likely.
Or they're coming in some pretty beat up cars as well. And so the grocery cart helps them get the food out to their vehicle.
Okay.
And then they just bring it back in, and we take it back to the warehouse.
Okay.
It's very cool. And then they exit right here. So again, they have their own private space, which is really nice. And the volunteers are the ones that are working the magic in the warehouse, filling the bags, and making sure that people get taken care of. So it's very cool. Let me show you one more space.
All right.
So this is
this is really, since I hadn't been in here, I'm so excited to see.
I know, it's really incredible, isn't it? So this is where everything else happens. So we'll have volunteer groups that come in and volunteer, and obviously we've still got some work to do. But this is our reception area. Usually a volunteer here. Christian is a volunteer. He's one of our interns. And the volunteers are here greeting people, answering the phones. Let me show you the rest of this. So there are office space up here. But a little later, yes. This is so exciting. First of all, we have bathrooms that aren't connected to, a tank that's got to be pumped out.
Right? Or or it's just a like a glorified portalette in the back of the warehouse, like in the old place.
Look at this.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
This is wonderful. So this is our community room / training room. Now, let me turn the light on.
Now, these are the bricks you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. And the ones in the other room, too. So you can see some of the writing on those bricks. And we've already hosted Chain Reaction, one of our partners in the community, Bank of America. We've had RSVP come in and have a meeting here. And that's what we want to do. We want this room to be here to help our partners in our community. And what was great with Bank of America, they held a business meeting in here.
Okay.
And they went to the warehouse.
I was going to say, what a great opportunity to have a meeting space where you can also have hey, since you're already here, could we do a little bit of volunteer work at the same time?
Exactly.
Do we know what the numbering means?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I should. In fact, one of our donors is Mr. Johnson, who used to work here. And I'm going to show you a picture that he did in just a few minutes. So what's really great is we have internet access. We can do projections. We've got a conference or a phone in here that we can do conference calls on. So we really try to make the space so it would work for us in the future too. So it's really exciting.
I think there's a lot of companies that would say to themselves, I would kill for all that room. I would kill for all that room for a conference. Now, if people wanted to use this space,
just give us a call.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll work it out. And one of the things we're using this for too, Andrew, is we've already had some groups. One of the things we're trying to do now is with our groups that are coming in, we're incorporating an educational piece about hunger, about poverty, because we think not only is it important for you to be here and understand what we do, but we want you to know what leads to that. We want you to understand the struggle that people that we help have. And so we've done a lot of educational things in here with our groups, and it's been great. So this is just a beautiful space. Again, nothing fancy pants, but we just wanted to have something that was nice that honors our donors.
Right. No, it's neat.
And then out here, I even have a janitorial closet.
Huh?
I've never had a janitorial closet in my life. I have a janitorial closet now. So this is what we're calling our flex space. Oh, there's our kitchen. Sorry, yes. So we have our break room.
I just saw it on the way past. That's all.
So this
back
is our
through
break
there
room.
in case you're kind of following the meanderings. Right through that door is the original place we started where the sorting takes place, and the bags, you can kind of see them through the window, are made. So we're right back where we started by about 20 feet.
And this is a great room because it's a place where our volunteers come in and check in every morning.
Okay.
And every afternoon. But what's great is they can come in, take a break, sit down at the table. We have a refrigerator. It's got stuff in it. And so it's just a nice little space. It's quiet.
Now, in the back, I saw a lady that had brought her daughters in. Kids can come and help and volunteer?
They can. They've got to be at least 10 years old, and they have to be accompanied by their parent or guardian.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And again, if people want to volunteer, just call you.
Give us a call.
All
Absolutely. Right. So this is our flex, what we're calling our flex space. And we call it that because anything is possible in this room. So right now we've got it set up for a meeting. But we set it up in construction so that if we ever needed to add any kind of additional office space, say we had an AmeriCorps team in, Or let's say that one of our partners, heaven forbid, something happened to them like what happened to us when we got flooded out, and they needed a temporary space. We can make that happen here in this space. So this is our flex space, and over here is more.
I'm almost envisioning exercise classes.
Yeah,
you know, for the.
exactly.
I mean, it's because that's health and that's nutrition, and you know.
Absolutely, yoga class or something. And then this is actually Pensacola Mill Supply. This is what the building used to look like, and this is what the building looked like before construction. So this is, in fact, that is that wall right there.
Which one, the blue?
Mm-hmm. Is that wall right there. Ah. Isn't that great?
That is good. And then this is going to go up eventually?
Yes, so Pensacola Mill Supply was owned by Mr. Bob Jones.
Okay.
And Jim Johnson worked here, and so Mr. Jones was his mentor. And Jim and Norma's a volunteer with us, has been for years. They actually sponsored this room in honor of Mr. Johnson. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really great. When Jim brought me here before all the construction started, he, like I said, walked around and told me, you know, what happened in every space. And it was great because it gave life to the building.
It's not, I mean, what you make me think of is like when going to Israel,
Yeah.
and if you've read all these stories, but then you can see where they take place. Same thing, if you're living in a space like this, and the room isn't just a room, it's a room where this happened or that happened. It's really kind of a very neat thing.
You know, and I think that's that is a wonderful thing to say, because, and I always say Manna's not a building, it's people. And it's people that make the story. And so that's what's great about this space, is that we've got people in it every day that are making a difference in folks' lives. And truly, we have so many folks who benefit from us, and then they'll come back, you know, months later or years later, and they'll donate something. And they'll say, you helped me, I want to pay back. And so that's it's just great.
Well, DeDe, thanks for showing us around. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew.